Moving on to the tunnel course, one of the first new Pokemon you run into is hanging from the top of the cave. There are tons of Kakuna in the first room of the cave, and one way to get them all to fall down at the same time is to make one of the Electrode explode with either an apple or pester ball. Kakuna may not have a special pose bonus, but it's important that you get the 1000 for it being basically straight. Getting the best shot of Kakuna is pretty complicated, so I slowed down this video so you can see what I did. I throw an apple at the Electrode in the corner as you're entering the other doors. I speed up slightly, get in line with the Kakuna that drops as I face to the right, and use a pause buffer to make sure I get a nice centered photo of Kakuna. Getting extra Kakuna in the background is also very important for getting extra points. I would really suggest using pause buffer here, just because getting multiple shots of Kakuna is very difficult with the small time window you have to take photos. Zubat can be found in two courses, the tunnel and cave course. Although there's multiple Zubat in the cave, in the tunnel you can get the best shot for the most points. The best shot of Zubat is flying right at you as you get near the double doors in the tunnel. So unfortunately there's no massive pose bonus or any crazy secret or anything here. The only advice I have is to move to the right like you see me do, and then quickly look up and snap a photo. You're gonna have to try multiple times to get a good shot, but ultimately the best shot of Zubat really actually isn't anything special. It's just the first one you run into in the game. Like Zubat in the tunnel, Diglett doesn't have any sort of special pose per se, but there is an exact moment when you need to get a shot to get the best photo possible. Diglett can be found in the third area of the tunnel, past the second Zubat, popping out of the ground next to the Pikachu. Pay close attention to Diglett's pattern, because getting as close as possible is also very important for the best shot. Make sure when entering the third room of the tunnel that you stay far to the left, and also pay attention to when Diglett pops out of the ground, because when Diglett is popping out of the ground, you need to take a photo right away. If you end up with a photo where Diglett looks like a giant meaty hot dog, you have succeeded and you will get a ton of points for size. Just make sure on your shot he's popping out of the ground. Dugtrio can be found in the same room where we got the photo of Diglett, past the Zubat, and it starts with where Diglett is next to Pikachu. There's actually a pretty involved process with getting Dugtrio out, and it involves going down the path, taking photos of Diglett every chance you get, and then taking photos of the Dugtrio one by one until you get 3 on the screen at the same time. I'd suggest taking photos of the Diglett and Dugtrio as you're approaching them, and on the very last shot where you have 3 Dugtrio pop out of the ground, you want to be just to the right of Pikachu in the blue tower, and you want to quickly turn and speed up a little bit and make sure you're centered so that you have a photo of all Dugtrio in the shot. To get the most points here, it really isn't a pose bonus. It's about getting the most size possible and making sure that you have all 3 in the shot, and that's really all there is to it. Keep practicing and you'll get the best score. In the tunnel course, Magnemite is a very shy Pokemon. As you approach any of the Magnemite hanging around at the end of the tunnel, they'll use an electromagnetic wave. This unfortunately stops you from being able to take any photos of them. The way around this involves apples. So once you obtain apples, there's a certain strategy that I use to get the best shot of Magnemite. As you're coming down the tunnel into the last area, move all the way to the right and throw an apple over the first Magnemite's head to get the 2 Magnemite in the back to come together. Then throw an apple right in front of the first Magnemite and start taking photos relentlessly. You get a decent happy pose bonus for Magnemite dancing around, and you also get an extra bonus for the Magnemite being in the background. So that's exactly why I do this strategy in particular, trying to maximize my points. One important thing to remember with my Pokemon Snap videos is that I'm going for the best possible shots and not the best possible scores in my guide. The problem with that logic though, especially for a Pokemon like Magneton, that is a very weird shot, is that the best score kind of intertwines with its best shot. At the very end of the tunnel where we find the Magnemite originally, you can throw apples to combine all 3 and have them become Magneton. And you don't have to worry about the electromagnetic waves as well after they form Magneton. There is no crazy pose bonus here, but you do want the Magneton facing you, and you want to take your shot right under the top one. Even though it's not on the Pokemon, This will center it and have Oak give you the highest score. This best shot is very different than a lot of the other Pokemon I've already done. I hope this helps. A perfect shot of Magneton is 4,000 points. I can't lie to you guys, Haunter is one of my favorite Pokemon. Ghost types are just awesome. Haunter can be found in 2 spots in the tunnel as a smoky purple ball floating around. One of the areas is next to Pikachu in the egg. In the following room, he'll be circling around the telephone stand, and that's the one I like to target to get the best shot. Just like in the games, we don't have the Silph Scope, so when you take a photo of this purple ball, you will only get a question mark. Luckily, when we do develop the film, we will see Haunter. In this exact moment, you can see where I got my photo of him, just as I'm heading to the right. This is another perfect example of basically going for not only best shot, but perfect shot as well. There's no pose bonus or anything extra with this shot. You're just trying to get the best size and centered photo of Haunter. I give the devs credit. This was a really cool and creative way to get a shot of Haunter in Pokemon Snap. The starting point and first interior of the tunnel is swarming with Electrode, either rolling around or just sitting in place. Throwing an apple or pester ball at an Electrode sitting still will make it explode. We need a shot of Electrode exploding to get the It Exploded pose bonus. When you first enter the tunnel, there'll be an Electrode rolling with you. We need that Electrode in the background for extra points. Use your dash engine and C buttons left and right if necessary to line yourself up. I didn't use them when I took the photo, but you need both Electrode to explode at the same time. When they're exploding, it's not only for the pose bonus, but also size bonus. So keep practicing, get your timing down, and you should easily get over a 4,800 score here. Electabuzz can be seen chasing a rolling Electrode right at the start of the tunnel course. This is not the one we're after though for the best shot. The process starts in the second room of the tunnel, where you have to throw apples to get Pikachu close to the egg, and then use your flute to hatch Zapdos. Doing this first step activates both Electabuzz in the final room. The second step, as you can see here, is throwing apples right when you enter the third room to get both Electabuzz up close. This is a pretty difficult shot, I can't lie, and it's going to take you a few tries to make sure both Electabuzz are active and very close by, but your goal should be getting a shot of the one on the left as he's eating one of the apples with the right one in the frame. When you get a shot of the Electabuzz eating the apple, you get the yummy pose bonus, and getting a large enough shot of the second Electabuzz in the background gives you a huge same Pokemon bonus. The legendary bird Zapdos will be one of the last Pokemon you take a photo of in the tunnel. This is because you not only need apples, but you need the flute unlocked as well. You can find Zapdos in the second room of the tunnel where Pikachu's standing. To hatch open that giant egg next to Pikachu, you need to lead him to the egg with apples. To make sure you get a high point best shot, I suggest exactly as the double doors open that you start throwing the apples leading Pikachu to the egg. Once Pikachu is in range of the egg, use your flute so he'll start using his Thunder Shock attack. Keep moving your cart to the left, look up right away, and start snapping photos rapidly. You want to get Zapdos with the egg hatching around him and the Thunder present to ensure that you get the Thunder Jolt pose bonus. Because you have such a small window, size can be a little bit challenging to get very high, but just keep trying on this one and you'll get a really good score.